I'm telling you, you're not alone. Don't stand in a place called alone. And don't hang out with why, because alone and why are both lies. You can do it.
Yeah, hey, look, hey, look, you can do it better, ayy. Time will tell what changed, feeling with you whatever way, but you can do it better, ayy. If you're okay, then I'm okay with you to fight you day by day, but you can do it better, ayy. They'll try, but don't let them wipe the smile up off your face, cause you can do it better. Life is what you make.
You may never know why dad left, or why mom prefers to spend time with men rather than you and talking about your emotions. Young men, stop saying you can't do it. Ladies, stop blaming yourself when he leaves. I know you feel like you're screaming and no one is listening, but I'm here to tell you your dreams are not dead. You are alive. New days are here. I'm standing with you. I'm believing in you. You can. You are. Find that inner child that was once beat down and that you shut down. Crank up. Blow up. Don't question the fight. Envision the finish. You can do it.
You can do it better, ayy. Time will tell what changed, feeling with you whatever way, but you can do it better, ayy. If you're okay, then I'm okay with you to fight you day by day, but you can do it better, ayy. They'll try, but don't let them wipe the smile up off your face, cause you can do it.
Hi, you're here with Real Talk, Real People with Deb Loving, and I'm here today with my daughter Victoria Loving.
Hi guys.
And with everything that you find going on in the world, and you see all these like high profile families, I think sometimes they give you this persona of what they're going through is completely and totally out of your reach, and it almost gives the idea that what you are going through isn't important. And so I just really wanted to do this with my daughter to kind of just talk about real things that happen to real people, with the idea that all things can be overcome if you can keep with persistence, allow yourself to cry if you need to cry, be angry, and that's where the real talk comes in. The real situation, the real talk, when the cameras are off, what does it really look like? So my daughter Victoria here has really overcome a lot of obstacles that I really think that a lot of young people and even parents could really benefit from hearing about. And so she was willing to do this with me and allow the world into her journey. And so I just, wanted to share that with you.
Alrighty. Well, I'm Victoria Loving. I'm 23 years old. I am her daughter, Miss Deborah Loving. But yes, I guess I'm here to give you guys my story. I hope it helps teenagers, kids, adults. I hope it helps you guys out in any kind of way. So here we go. I grew up in Detroit. That was my hometown, maybe 7 miles. But I grew up there. I went to a school called Detroit Academy of Arts and Science. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are familiar with that school. So that's kind of where it all started. And of course, being a biracial child, my mom being Italian, my dad being black, that was always a struggle too. I was a, mixed girl with long curly hair that I guess every child found intimidating, men and actually girls and boys, which I don't know why, but it happens though, unfortunately, in this world it happens. We face bullying, we face people that discriminate for no reason, and we don't know because either something's going on with the child at home or all of the above. Something else could be going wrong with the child's life. But I went to Detroit Academy of Arts and Science. I went to DOS, and I had my first bully in first grade. That was my first time having bullying in first grade. After kindergarten was first grade, and a girl that I was friends with in kindergarten, I ended up being in the same class in first grade, and she ended up turning around and, I guess started, disrespecting me for no reason. And you're going to get that. You're going to get people that's friends with you, and you're going to get those people that will switch up on you to be different and to be cool for somebody else, which unfortunately that happens.
One of the things that I'm kind of curious is like, when you were little, you never really told us a lot of what was going on.
Oh, no.
You kind of held in a lot. And then I can remember, like, if we fast forward to, like, it was your senior year of high school.
Okay.
And somebody had said something to you and you just basically like, yes,
okay.
all that frustration,
yes,
all that
baby.
anger.
Oh yes, baby.
Like you've just been like, holding it down for like year
For
after
year after year.
And so
Definitely.
really would like kind of like for you to share a little bit as to, like coming from a household, mom and dad there, you got 4
Yeah.
siblings, you're kind of in the middle, you're that middle kid. Like what made you hold it all down all the time? Why were you so quiet about, what was really happening?
Well, there was a part of me that was scared, of course. Anybody would be scared, but I was also not only scared, but I was also nervous because, of questions. When you tell your parents something awful that happened like that to you, like, you don't want to, come out and tell them because they're not prepared for the stories that comes with that. So
Even as a little girl, you felt like you needed to protect me and dad.
exactly.
Wow.
So, yeah, and that's tough, when you're going through the bullying and then you're going through the molestation. Like it's not easy at all. But I think it happened to my little sister. That's when the game had changed. That's when I started speaking up. And when I heard my little sister's story, it was heartbreaking. I never really got into details as actually what happened because I don't want to know just yet. But it's not easy at all. It's when a person can mind manipulate you, it's awful. It really can. And they can go so far with it. It's not even funny. I heard stories. I watch documentaries. It's crazy stories out there. What guys will do to manipulate women nowadays. So
Tori, what's the one thing? It's one thing to be your mom and to have experienced it from that perspective, right? Of wanting to protect you after the fact, right? And always wanting you to be able to, like, one of the hardest things for me was not making you talk too much, but not wanting you to not to talk at all, because I know the importance of talking. But what is something like, what if there's a young lady or even young men? I mean, it happens to young men all the time too, right?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Is like, what if you had 1 minute to just like, talk to that one person that is going to hear this? What is the one piece of advice that you'd want to give them? What if mom's not there? What if dad's not there? What if, what would you say to them to help them find hope? And you being a survivor of bullying and trying to find out, am I too Italian? Am I too black? Am I too this? All these different things that, obviously we won't be able to talk about it all in one session.
Right.
But what would you really want to tell? Like if you just had 1 second to really make a difference to, that one person that's hearing you right now, what would you want them to know?
That I understand that everybody gets scared of, talking about things like that. But I would definitely highly encourage you to speak up. I know what my manipulation is. I know what it can do. But know that there are people that would stand by your side without no problem. And to encourage to really speak up, like to really talk about it. Even if you are so scared to talk about it, I don't want to force you to do something you don't want to do, but I do highly encourage you to speak up, especially if that's going on with you. We don't want it to go on for 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years. 4 years it happened to me. So I really do encourage you guys to really speak up and to know that at the end of the day, your parents will be on your side. There are times where parents they're not believable. If your parents don't believe you, your friends will believe you without no problem. I have friends that will go there in 2 seconds without no problem. So I do encourage you guys to really speak up. And if you can't speak to your parents, speak to a friend. But really, I would say definitely go to your parents because they're your number one fan for sure. They will definitely be by your side.
So, I know you were probably 15 years old and you gave this really powerful testimony at church. Mm-hmm. And as your mom, I was so excited that, my baby's going to tell her testimony and she's going to give glory to God. And, but I think that I was more shocked as to what happened when you came off the stage.
Right.
Like, you had so many women, like, trying to talk to you, and I mean, they're 30, 40, 50, you know, and like, how did you feel in that moment? Like, what was happening when they, like, were all approaching you, and it just kind of like all eyes were on you?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it felt good. I mean, I know, a lot of people tend to get nervous, but it's more natural for me. I love when a woman can come up to me and honestly say, like, you've been an inspiration. Like, you know, I could never speak out. Like, I have one woman, they came up to me, and we're about the same age, actually, and she said the same thing. She said it's been happening to her for years. I don't want to say who it was by, though. I respect her privacy. And she was crying, like, she was crying to me, saying, like, I could never speak up until you said something. And, you know, it did make me feel good, because it's not hard to really tell, but I love when, you know, a woman can actually come up to you and lift you up and say, like, you know what, you really helped me out, and I'm still trying to help. You know, look, the tears trying to come out. Not today, but yeah, it's a nice feeling. It's a great feeling to know that you can help somebody out, especially when you're still trying to help yourself out. You know, still trying to pick yourself up and still trying to work on you and continue to work on you. You know, so that's nice. It's never a bad feeling. It's actually a great feeling. Yeah. So
I guess overall, the two things I'm really hearing from your heart today is encouraging people to talk.
Yes.
Talk until somebody listens. Talk until somebody responds. Talk until you find that person that knows that you are telling the truth and that you need help. What we don't talk about has a way of coming out sideways. And I would just encourage parents specifically that are ministers and pastors and take a really active role in the church. I know personally wanting your child to meet every expectation that you think God has for them. But at the same time, we have to make sure that we have a balance and that we don't compromise them for the purposes of God. Yes. Because in that, we failed God in that moment. So be there for your children first. Recognize what they're saying, hearing them, and that is honoring to God. So,
and also I wanted to just add one more thing. And also, like, to the kids, to the teenagers out there, I had the thought in my mindset. I really did. I really did the thought. Do not be that friend to see somebody actually getting picked on, getting called name out. Don't be that friend to actually sit there and listen. Be that person to defend them, because there are a lot of kids out there that will actually see it with their eyes and don't do nothing about it because they're so scared of what will happen to them or what the outcome will be. Don't be that person. You can be that person to speak up, you know. It doesn't make you a snitch or anything like that. It goes to show you have a voice and you're not afraid to use it.
That's excellent. Please tune in again for Real Talk, Real People with Deb Loving and the Loving family.
Real talk, real people. And we're real. Have a blessed one, you guys, and always stay encouraged, and please speak up. Much love, guys.
Thank you for listening to Real Talk, Real People with Deb Loving. I'm really interested in hearing the topics that you find important, the things that you want to talk about that you think you can't talk about with anybody. Please go to my email, which is real@debraloving.com, and leave the different information that you are interested in hearing more about. Just a little bit about myself is I'm a fully licensed professional counselor with a family of my own and 5 adult children. Many experiences in the counseling room and out of the counseling room, and really want to hear from you. So please, if you want to hear more conversations that have already taken place on Real Talk, Real People with Deb Loving, go to debraloving.com. If you'd like to hear about a topic that you might be embarrassed or too embarrassed to talk to somebody about, go to real@debraloving.com, and I most definitely will do a session on the things that you find important. Until then, smile often and be kind. Much love. Real Talk, Real People with Deb Loving.
You can do it better, ayy. Time will tell what changed. Feeling with you whatever way, but you can do it. You can do it better, ayy. If you're okay, then I'm okay with you to fight me day by day, but you can do it. You can do it better, ayy. They'll try, but don't let them